What up, YouTubers? Have one here, and it also starts raining here, so maybe you will hear the rain hitting my window. I don't know. But anyway, I come here today with a small review of the Kershaw Oso Sweet. So this is the latest version that uses the ATR13 MOV steel, as opposed to the previous one that uses '06 steel. And if you've checked the video that I did on the Tenacious, you already know what I think about ATR13 MOV. Long story short, I don't like that, but I, however, think that it is a pretty good choice for the Oso Sweet, simply because the Tenacious is a bigger knife, and it's a pretty good knife for food preparation and all sort of tasks. The Oso is smaller, and it's a light-duty knife, almost exclusively a little EDC blade, so the thing that you will do with this guy doesn't necessarily require a very good steel. Again, the choice of the steel depends on the use that you have of it, so that's why I think ATR fits better on this knife than on the Tenacious. Yeah, so the first impression that I had with this knife is that it's actually pretty heavy for its size, because the blade is pretty thick, I mean, here from the base to the tip you have the same thickness. I think it's about 3 mm, something like that. And I just can't understand why Kershaw puts such a thick blade on a knife designed for light use, They could have narrowed down to the tip or something like that. The second thing that explains this weight is that the liners are not skeletonized. Don't know if you can pick this. Yeah. Here. Yeah, they're not skeletonized, and I think it can be explained by the reduction of the production costs, because it costs money to drill out pieces of steel. Because this guy is very inexpensive and they're made in China, so I think I paid like I don't know, 20, or it was less than 25 euros shipped. And actually, to be really honest, I bought this product more as a toy than as a knife, which I have to admit is kind of silly. But I basically wanted a cheap assisted opening flipper design to play with in front of my computer, because when I'm home, I always have a knife in my hand, playing with it, and when I'm watching some TV show on my laptop, I always have a knife to flick, so and this one is a very cool knife to play with, really. I mean, I just could do this endlessly, So the mechanism here is called the speed save system, so when you push the flipper, yeah, and by the way, there is no thumb suit, so it's gonna be flipper only. So when you reach this point here, there is a springs that pops the blade open, and you see? No, obviously. So yeah, like that, and yeah. So it was kind of hard to push on the flipper, the first 200 or 300 openings, but now it's really smooth, as you can see. Really smooth and really easy to push to a flipper. The FRN handle is pretty cool with this nice texturing on it. It's actually pretty comfortable, and you got this plastic backspacer here that is jimped out, and it makes some noise when you shake the knife open, as you can hear. But besides its cheap aspect, it's pretty cool to have it there, really. The handle fits my hand well. That's a quite ergonomic design, even though it's maybe just a little short. Oh, not really. No, it's pretty cool, really. One thing that I do not like about the handle is the fact that the liner here, I mean, not the inside, but just the angles are actually pretty sharp, and they should be rounded off a little bit, but you can easily do it yourself if you want with some ceramic rods or something like that. So it's not really comfortable when you open it, because you immediately hit this sharp portion here with your finger. So yeah, not really comfortable, really sharp here. The pocket clip is really stiff, and it was so tight when I first got it that I mean, it was almost impossible to clip on my pocket, so I had to bend it out, and now it works pretty fine. Tip up or tip down, and it's screwed pretty high on the scales, which I like, you know. The locking mechanism is a line lock, works fine, you know, no blade play. I think it's pretty reliable, I think. The speed safe system, I don't exactly know how it works, because I haven't taken this knife apart yet. But the spring only works from about I would say 25 degrees to 90 degrees, and yeah, here you got absolutely no spring tension. So and you can see that when I'm closing the knife, don't know if you can pick that on the camera, but the backspacer here rises a little bit. So yeah, I don't know if you can see that on the camera. So I assume that the spring presses on the spacer, you know, and I will take this knife apart just to see how the speed safe works, and I'll post a video on that. Maybe there are already that kind of video on YouTube, I don't know, I haven't checked. But basically I don't like assisted openings, you know. I've always considered that it was for pussies who don't know how to manipulate their knives, and I mean, somehow I still do believe that, you know. I like to open my knives by myself, and I don't want any helping system to do that. But I gotta admit that it's a lot of fun, you know. It's really funny to use. Yeah, how about the blade? Yeah, like I said, it's a 13 MOV, relatively 6-pine, and it's a hologram blade. But as the grinding starts mid-blade, the edge is so thick in its major portion. I mean, from the V-edge to 5 millimeters above, it's pretty thin, and then I just think that it's too thick, which doesn't make it a very good slicer. Even though the blade came razor sharp out of box, which I always appreciate, and it cuts pretty well though, you know, it's not that bad. And I've already said that in my Skyline review, that fit and finish were exemplary on the Skyline, as opposed to the Oso Sweet, that has a lot of imperfection in its construction, you know, and that even if Kershaw says that the quality controls are the same between the knives made in the US and the ones that are made in China, you clearly see that that's just not the way it works. I mean, if a Skyline had that much imperfection, it just wouldn't have passed the quality control, I think. And by imperfection, I mean nothing that is a big issue for the safety and the function of the knife, but just this sloppy finish that it has. I mean, you see here you got, I don't know if you can really pick that, but yeah, here you got some space between, yeah, you can see that. You have some space between the FRN and the steel liners. The screws are not well machined. Don't know if you can pick that. Not on my camera. I mean, you know, a lot of imperfections, you know. The FRN here doesn't fit the liner. You see that it's like way longer than the liner. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but you know, I'm not gonna review all the imperfections here. Here you can see that the screws are longer. The screws that hold the pocket clip are longer than what they should be, and so you got it on the other side, etc. I mean, you know, a lot of things that are not really cool with this guy. Don't want to be too picky, but because you know, it was very cheap, and just keep in mind that there's a huge difference of quality with the Skyline. which is sure a little bit more expensive, but it's also definitely better made, you know, so that's something that you gotta consider. So yeah, not a very good knife. However, with its price considered, it's actually not that bad. But it's an excellent toy, and it's really cool to flake in front of the TV. So if you're looking for something affordable and not a very high quality knife, but you know, something that will, however, get the EDC job done, and that is on the meantime entertaining to handle, then that's just all you need. This is a guy. And to be honest, I've used it to cut things maybe I don't know, 20 times, something like that. You know, 95% of my use with this knife is just opening and closing it. You know, that's just what I do. And for that, excellent. So thank you for watching, guys, and leave a comment if you want to. Bye.